What's up, everybody? So first, I'd like to say sorry for being gone for a bit. I had to, rush and make sure I had all my schoolwork done because you guys know that whole online school crap going on. I had to make sure that I had all that in order so I can, make sure I graduate. But I was going to anyway, but they're trying to do this whole, if you don't finish, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they're scare tactics, whatever. I had to go ahead and get all that crap done, which was what I've been doing for the past 4 days because they changed the due dates on everything back about a week. And then I actually yesterday sprained my finger really bad. So I was trying to figure out how to type all of this stuff. It took me 3 to 4 hours to get this entire script written because of how important my middle finger is when it comes to typing. So again, sorry about that, but I'll be streaming a lot more until my finger heals up all the way. But I still will be putting out 2 to 3 videos a week. But expect some streams coming up because it's a lot easier because I won't have to type everything because it's just inconvenient right now. But today we're going to be doing the Undrafted Free Agents episode 2, where we cover all of the undrafted free agents we didn't cover in episode 1. So the New Orleans Saints ended up picking up 13 total undrafted free agents, 6 of which we covered last episode, 7 of which we're covering this episode. And there are some real players that could be diamond in the rough impact players in this list. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. The first player I'd like to go over is Joe Bachie, an inside linebacker out of Michigan State. Bachie was a Division I All-Ohio first-team pick his senior year as an offensive threat at Barra High School in Brook Park, but after his high school career, he made a choice that would forever change his career beyond that point. He took off his red shirt to play defense, appearing in the final 6 games of the 2016 season, in which he amassed 12 tackles, 2 for loss. Bachie then started all 13 games the next year, leading the Spartans in tackles with 100, 8.5 for loss. He also had 3.5 sacks along with 3 interceptions, which is absolutely insane, and earned team MVP and third team All Big Ten honors. Bachie, a team captain, was a first-team all-conference pick in 2018, and he again led his squad with 102 tackles, 8.5 for loss, and had an interception as well with 3 forced fumbles. This dude is a playmaking machine. Bachie started the first 8 games of his senior season, where he put up 71 tackles, 8.5 for loss, 3.5 sacks, 1 interception with 4 pass breakups, but was deemed ineligible for the remainder of the year for a positive PED test, missing the 5 final contests. He was still voted honorable mention All Big Ten by league coaches despite the suspension. Bachie is a fantastic player that really brings a lot to the football field. If Bachie didn't get suspended for using PEDs, he would have been a draft pick easily. What his suspension did was draw skepticism from coaches and GMs who technically didn't know what Bachie was capable of because of his PED use. And what I heard about this PED situation wasn't that he was pumping them full his entire college career. What I heard was that he failed 1 drug test during his senior year after trying a new workout supplement prior to a weight room session. I think this is very similar to the Zach Bond situation, except Zach Bond got caught doing something. Apparently, the diluted sample was apparently him drinking a ton of water. That happened after at the combine, not during his collegiate career. So Joe Bachie kind of got screwed over. I don't know if he was using PEDs as a way to get himself to play better, or he really was just taking a workout supplement. Either way, this dude is an absolutely insane playmaker who has a ton of potential to make this team and really provide a ginormous impact. We have had a lot of problems at the linebacker position, so adding another one along with Zach Bond in the draft is so golden of a move, especially when you're as underrated and underappreciated as Joe Bachie is. I'm telling you, this dude is insane. Just had one little slip up in college that really shouldn't have happened. He was on his way to another fantastic season. This dude had 3 interceptions in one of his seasons, had 3.5 sacks. He is an amazing coverage linebacker, a fantastic tackling linebacker. He can get to the quarterback. He can do anything you need him to do, and I think that he could really get a place on this team, whether it be special teams, defense, wherever. I think he can do something to contribute to the New Orleans Saints. Let's move on to the next player. The next player we have on this list is Keith Washington, a defensive back out of West Virginia. In 2018, Washington totaled 40 tackles with 3 interceptions and 9 passes defended. His solid play earned him a spot on NFL teams' preseason watch list. For the NFL, Washington should add weight and fill out his frame because he is 6'1", 178 pounds, which is absolutely tiny. He started out his collegiate career at Michigan, redshirting in 2015. In 2016, he was a backup for the Wolverines. In 2017, Washington played in the junior college ranks and then landed at West Virginia. At West Virginia in 2019, getting his first starting experience, Keith had 23 tackles with 3 interceptions and 9 passes broken up. Talk about a bit of an explosive year. With a lot of people expecting New Orleans to go corner in the draft at some point, it isn't surprising to see us going for one in UDFA after not going for one in the regular draft. Keith was scouted as a 5th to 7th round pick and was ranked the 23rd best corner in the draft, so it will be interesting to see how he fares in New Orleans. I think this is a player who could totally beat out someone like Patrick Robinson for a backup job. Let's move on to the next player, which we have Gus Cumberlander, defensive end out of Oregon. Nielsen, the New Orleans Saints defensive line coach since 2017, was defensive line coach / recruiting coordinator at North Carolina State from 2013 to 2016. This is an interesting story right here. Cumberlander, a 6'7" defensive lineman from Ellenwood, Georgia, was on Nielsen's radar, but Nielsen couldn't entice Cumberlander in 2015 to enroll at the school in Raleigh, North Carolina. Cumberlander wound up at Oregon, and Nielsen ended up in New Orleans with the New Orleans Saints. So this dude, our defensive line coach, has literally been scouting Gus Cumberlander since 2015 and has wanted to work with Gus Cumberlander since 2015. When Cumberlander went undrafted this year after an injury-shortened senior season with the Ducks, he didn't hesitate to jump at the opportunity to be coached by Nielsen. He said, "I'm assuming he saw that I was coming out of school. He reached out and it was just an opportunity." He left NC State to go to the NFL, so it was an opportunity to make something happen, and I would love to be coached by him. Cumberlander missed the final 9 games of his senior season due to a left knee injury. He started 4 out of 5 games and totaled 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss, and 7 tackles, and was named Pac-12 Defensive Lineman of the Week for his performance against Stanford when he posted his 1.5 sacks. I think this dude has a lot of potential, and for our defensive line coach to be scouting him for literally 5 years until finally getting to play with him in New Orleans at the NFL level, it means a lot. I think that he sees something in him and would love to coach him up into an absolute beast. I think he just needs opportunity, and he needs to stay on the field, and he could blossom into a very good defensive lineman. Let's move on to the next player on this list. Juwan Johnson, wide receiver out of Oregon. This is a dude a lot of Saints fans are excited about, and I can really honestly see why. JJ became part of the Nittany Nanny Lions offense as a sophomore, starting all 13 games and garnering honorable mentions as a all Big Ten notice with 54 receptions for 701 yards, a 13.0 average, and a touchdown. Johnson struggled with injuries during his junior year, dropping his production. He had 25 receptions for 352 yards, a 14.1 average, and 1 touchdown in 10 games, 7 starts. Those struggles and the departure of stalwart quarterback Trace McSorley helped Johnson make the decision to transfer to Oregon, partially due to his relationships with Doug head coach Mario Cristobal, who had recruited him to Alabama 5 years ago. He started 6 of 10 games, played in 2019, catching 30 passes for 456 yards, a 15.6 average, and he scored 4 times. These are some of JJ's strengths. He is a long-limbed and well-defined wide receiver. He is a big, strong target. He can create space from press and gets open in scramble situations. His hands aren't the greatest, but he has an extremely great length to go get throws. He can dive for them catches. He's a physical runner after the catch. He takes run blocking extremely seriously, which is extremely important in an offense like the New Orleans Saints offense. He dominates cornerback with his strengths and tenacity as a blocker. He is extremely strong, so any cornerback that wants to challenge him at the block is going to get pushed over. At 6'4", 231 pounds, Johnson also ran a 4.58. If he can stay healthy, this dude could be a huge freak athlete that Sean Payton and Drew Brees would absolutely love to work with. I think Juwan Johnson has a very strong chance at making the team and could really add another piece of depth into our extremely fragile wide receiver core. I like the pickup. Let's move on to the next player. The next player we have is Tino Ellis, a defensive back out of Maryland. Ellis broke into the starting lineup as a sophomore, making starts and totaling 27 tackles with 5 pass breakups. As a junior in 2018, Ellis started every game and had 12 passes defensed with an interception and 22 tackles. Ellis's cover skills as junior were impressive enough to get selected by NFL teams to be on their preseason watch list. For 2019, Ellis totaled 13 tackles with 2 passes broken up. He can compete for a spot because cornerback depth is extremely important, but I'm not sure if he'll get it. Let's move on to the next player. Blake Gillikin, Penn State. He's a punter. Thomas Morstead is confused. Let's move on to the next player. Adrian Mcgee, an offensive lineman out of LSU. He is a very versatile offensive lineman that started at 3 different positions on the offensive line during his career at LSU. He played in 40 games during his career, starting 20 times. He had starts at left guard, 15, left tackle, 2, and right tackle, 2. He started all 15 games in 2019, 13 at left guard and 2 at left tackle. He's an extremely powerful offensive lineman with tremendous strength. This dude deadlifts over 600 pounds. He was a second-team All-SEC selection in 2019. I trust anyone that was protecting Joe Burrow on that extremely powerful LSU offense. Adrian Mcgee, if you look up his highlights, period, you see him he literally pushed someone over, continued to block, pushed another person over, and pancaked a third person in the same play. He is extremely strong, an absolutely running bull, and I'm extremely excited to have him compete for a roster spot this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. What was your favorite undrafted free agent pickup? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Adios. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, I really like this undrafted free agent draft class, and I really hope that the New Orleans Saints can find a place or two for some of these players to fit on this roster. Peace out, everybody.